I'm out of town, but another musical biopic hits the theaters this weekend. But this one utilizes a very uncommon perspective. Is it just a shtick, or does it possess significant thematic substance? I'll discuss that and all the other details in this spoiler-free review of Better Man. Robbie Williams' goal his entire life was to become a famous entertainer, but he always considered himself to be a little, well, different. Anything he lacked in talent, he overcame with his ambition, energy, and showmanship. As a teenager, he catapulted into stardom as a member of British boy band Take That. But that success, fame, and fortune opened doors to temptations that could easily derail his dream and destroy his life. While Robbie experiences these harsh realities, he clings on to the hope of reclaiming the life for which he is destined. Better Man technically had a limited release at the end of 2024 in Great Britain and for awards consideration, but it gets its wide release here in the US this weekend. Musical biopics are nothing new, but this is the first one I've seen where the protagonist is a monkey. And this creative decision hooked me in the early parts of the film, because despite its absurd premise, the rest of the movie is handled very traditionally, right down to the grainy film, common familial drama, and youthful aspirations. As the story takes shape, we are introduced to the music of Robbie Williams, coinciding with his ups and downs. And frankly, the story and music feel generic, almost like it's a fictional tale where we're supposed to believe this subpar talent and creator is extremely popular, but in the real world, we know that would never really happen. But he is a real person who is extremely popular and successful. You can easily find clips of him performing to hundreds of thousands of rabid fans, and yet I've never heard of him. It's a good thing the movie literally starts by asking, who is Robbie? Because I think a lot of people here in the States are unaware of his existence. For that reason, I think making Robbie a monkey is a good decision. It got me to see the film and discuss it, but I will admit, once the novelty of his being a monkey wore off, I found myself wishing it was an actual actor in the role, because despite some very emotional moments in the film, I found myself thinking, wow, they really made this monkey look like he's feeling those emotions, rather than just allowing me to experience those moments for what they're worth. So yes, for the most part, the animation looks good, but there are enough moments where the uncanny valley creeps in. The uncanny valley is that thin line where animation goes from being cool and detailed to becoming creepy. The term became popular with the release of The Polar Express, which is the definitive example of the uncanny valley. Again, yes, for the most part, the animation looks great, but what surprised me the most is that his movement at times looked fake, and this is something that was perfectly executed in last year's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So I'm not sure what is causing this technical divide, but what it does is it makes the viewing experience a mixed bag. At times, I'm impressed with the technology, and at other times, I'm distracted by the imperfections. But in both situations, my attention is diverted from the story, which is not a good thing. And the story gets heavy. Like most rock star movies, we see all the debauchery that comes with the celebrity lifestyle. And though Better Man certainly doesn't glorify this lifestyle, it definitely shows it with graphic detail. And when I say this story gets heavy, I am not being hyperbolic. There is a selfish decision made in Better Man that I won't reveal because I think that would be a major spoiler, but I will say that it is disturbingly heartbreaking. And then you remember this is based on a true story, which makes this moment just that much more appalling. Add to that some major bouts with addiction, depression, and daddy issues, and this movie does not paint fame in a pretty light. That may be what I most respect about Better Man. It does seem honest about the discontent that comes from getting everything you want and the emptiness that creates in one's soul. I find that interesting. However, I think the film takes those themes and becomes a bit self-aggrandizing and becomes a bit of a hagiography. I had to look that term up when someone commented with it on my recent A Complete Unknown review, and I really like that word, so if you don't know what it means, look it up. Continuing on the thought that the movie shamelessly promotes Robbie Williams, the songs seem to think they're a bit more profound than they really are, playing at very emotional points in the story, which again feels too self-serving and a tad insincere. In fact, most of the songs didn't work for me, and the best song in the whole film is Frank Sinatra's My Way, but it's sung by Robbie Williams, so it's just a lesser version of a really great song. But in spite of the music not really hitting the mark with me, I did really enjoy much of the drama within this story, specifically moments with how his fame impacted his relationship with his parents and his beloved grandmother. So even though I didn't love Better Man, I appreciate the ambitious approach, so I will give it 3 out of 5 stars, which is better than average. But it's certainly not the transformative or wildly inventive film that much of the marketing wants you to believe it is. In fact, if you don't need the protagonist to be a monkey, John Carney has already made 2 films very similar to this, but superior, with the Manchester-Liverpool vibe, with better music and more unique stories. 2006's Once and 2016's Sing Street. Better Man isn't half bad, and the monkey gimmick isn't just a shtick, it represents his stunted emotional growth, and I respect that, but it may have been slightly better had they just used traditional actors. But I'll be interested to hear what audiences think. Did you like him as a monkey? Also, I'm aware monkeys have tails, so he's an ape or a chimp or something else. Either way, let me know what you think in the comments. Plus, if you've enjoyed this review, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss any of my future content. Also, you can watch some of my other reviews by clicking on one of these boxes.